Festa do fim de semana.
Cat 9, C-Cat 9. They'll be reaching Baz Island in about 3 minutes.
Roger, C-Cat 9. Let us know as soon as you sight Godzilla down the little lump.
Look there! Buzz Island has disappeared.
KN 1079er ready for takeoff.
Roger, KN 1079er. You're clear for takeoff. Runway 13.
V1. Rotation. V2.
Gear up.
Gear up.
What is that?
Oh my God, it's a monster!
Left turn! Report, tower!
As you saw, the ray color and the glowing spines. We haven't ever seen these before.
All right.
right, but what caused this?
Remember Bass Island? It disappeared in a matter of minutes due to the nuclear fission of pure uranium, generated by a gigantic underground eruption.
That eruption must have influenced Godzilla.
I'm Mira Ozawa reporting, sir, U.S. Special Agent. I have Dr. Marvin with me with the latest news on Godzilla. Now, for reasons of security, please use a scrambler.
As we all know, there is a hypothesis that Godzilla's power source, which is equal to the heart in a man, is nothing but a power reactor. Apparently, something is happening there, in the reactor, in Godzilla's heart. Look at this. I have here a thesis which accurately analyzes it from every point of view. It came through the internet from a Japanese college boy. It's an interesting and certainly unusual opinion about Godzilla.
So your father, he was Dr. Yamani's son, is that right?
His adopted son. You see, Godzilla killed all his family. So Dr. Yamane raised him as his own son. My dad wanted his kids to become great scientists later on in life. But I failed all my exams. And my sister works as a TV newscaster. I don't think he'd be very proud of us.
Are you telling me Yukari Yamane is your sister?
That's right.
You sent your thesis to the States. Why'd you do that?
I didn't have any choice. I sent it to G Center. But they didn't reply. They ignored it completely. I'm not surprised. My college professor thought it was done as a kind of joke. He even refused to mark it.
Will you come to G Center?
To be honest, sir, my father told me a lot about Godzilla. He collected enormous amounts of data on him. However, to be honest, I don't want to get involved in all this. Godzilla is really just a hobby, you see? And anyway, conferences never resolve anything.
In that case, I'd better be going. Excuse me. Oh, Miss Sagusa. Back already? Of course. I'll see you there.
Hey, wait. Tell me, was that Miss Miki Sagusa?
Yeah, it was.
Is she working at the G Center?
She is. She's heading the team looking for the little one.
Then I'll do it. Please, let me come and work for you. Tomorrow. No, today, right now. Okay, come on then. Huh? Let's go.
So you see, with the complete analysis of the oxygen, we have been able to micronize the atoms.
So you have microoxygen.
Right.
And with this, you won the Nobel Prize for Physics back in 1995, I believe. But tell me, how will this affect people's daily lives, and is this relevant?
Well, for instance, we can construct smaller and lighter oxygen tanks for divers. And if we feed microoxygen to fish, they'll grow much bigger than normally fed fish. So therefore, microoxygen could solve our food problems.
Well, it certainly seems like our future's rosy, but what about the darker side of this invention, Doctor?
What darker side?
Well, I'd heard reports that it could be used in making weapons.
Well, yes, it is true that the tiny atoms can penetrate any metal. So it is possible. Any weapon made this way would be extremely effective. However, I don't think anybody in this day and age would want to risk provoking a global war.
Thank you very much, Doctor. So there we have it, an invention that holds a lot of great potential for the future.
You were really hard on the guy. Why did you bring up the weapons angle?
Because he was a smug and self-centered know-it-all. Don't you think so?
You've always been a straight talker, true. But careful, it could ruin your love life.
What does that mean?
Nothing, just kidding. Oh, I've got a message for you.
Right, thanks. What could Auntie want?
We still haven't located the little one. Where could he be?
Well, maybe little one's already dead.
Oh, Mickey. This is our new team member at G Center.
Kenichi Yamane, at your service.
You said he was dead. What makes you say that?
Godzilla is now a super monster. He was regenerated. He took power from the nuclear blast. But maybe the others didn't survive it. They could have all been killed. It's possible that the little one was among those that didn't make it. He didn't survive the change.
You mean micro-oxygen?
Yes. Don't you see? It's almost identical to what Dr. Serizawa invented. It was way back in the 50s.
It destroys all of the oxygen in the water. It suffocates the marine life. Then it liquefies it, making the waters sterile.
I remember. He said that if it was ever used as a weapon, it'd be far worse than any nuclear weapon. So the doctor destroyed his research papers and sacrificed his life for peace. But now, this Dr. Ichiwan's new invention seems to be the same thing.
But surely not.
You carry Yamane, huh? The doctor's daughter?
You know of my father?
Every scientist in Japan does. He was famous.
What about Dr. Serizawa? You heard of him?
Of course.
Well, in that case, you must have heard about his invention.
When I began to study oxygen, I did make references to his papers. And I know my micro-oxygen is very similar to his work.
So you must know of the risks involved.
The past 40 years have seen unbelievable changes in the environment. Maybe we can put this discovery to practical use.
But Serizawa died to prevent its use.
We can't allow sentimentalism to interfere with the growth of scientific knowledge. My discovery just shows what is there. I haven't produced anything that nature hasn't already seen before.
These strata don't look right.
Something weird's going on. We've had some strange readings.
Well, there's nothing to worry about. They're within the tolerances.
Sir! The temperature controls have gone haywire and the elevator's broken down!
What's going on?
The elevator shaft's melting!
Let's get out of here!
Yeah, let's go! Evacuate!
There's an abnormal increase in water temperature in the Sea of Taiwan. It's about 60 to 70 degrees centigrade.
The high temperature of the seawater recorded by our flying laboratory this morning shows that there's now too much nuclear fission in Godzilla's body.
As you know by now, nuclear fission is Godzilla's source of energy. But of course, this power plant has to be cooled by air and water. However, the Baz Island incident has greatly increased the rate of fission.
So what'll happen now?
Godzilla will increase in power. And finally, he will explode.
Are you quite sure?
Supposing Godzilla does explode, what'll be the damage?
It will be devastating. More than all nuclear weapons put together. A burst of energy unseen since time began.
According to our calculations, the planet's atmosphere will heat up and then explode, vaporizing everything we know.
Oh, there he is. We don't know yet.
What about the melted elevator shaft?
I can't comment, I'm sorry. There was a rise in temperature. That's all I can say right now.
Yes, but doctor!
At the scene of the disaster, experts are remaining tight-lipped as to the possible cause of the accident. Preliminary reports about a huge rise in temperature at the site, which caused an elevator shaft to melt, have not yet been confirmed so far.
You took some samples of the soil from the tunnel, didn't you? It was the exact site where the first Godzilla was killed about 40 years ago, right?
You're very observant. You'll go far.
I've been talking with my aunt and...
And what? You still think I'm a mad scientist? That I want to make Armageddon happen? Those soil samples may yield some information. The strata indicate that the soil had no oxygen millions of years ago. This is the time period that I think will provide us with clues.
You mean there was a time when there was no oxygen present?
Billions of years ago. The Precambrian era, to be precise.
And creatures managed to survive?
Yes, but they were different from creatures we know today. And the samples should reveal all.
They'll give us all the answers, will they?
You don't seem to be taking this seriously. What's the matter?
Sorry, forgive me. But I wasn't laughing at you, honestly. You just seem such a romantic.
Well, maybe I am a romantic. But rest assured, I'm not a mad scientist, okay?
Signs of life? Impossible.
What do you mean, no more attacks?
That's right, sir. We have no choice.
Yes, but we can't just sit here. We have to stop him.
We'd be lighting a tinderbox, General, that could ignite an explosion that will destroy the planet.
Yes, but we can't sit here and do nothing at all.
If we can't launch a physical attack, then we shall have to use a chemical approach.
Chemical approach? Could you please explain further?
There's only one solution. We must kill him the way we killed the first Godzilla.
You can't!
The oxygen destroyer.
Listen to me, Ken. Dr. Serizawa destroyed all his research. There's nothing left to go on now. He didn't want his work used. In the end, he took his own life to save the world.
Yeah, waste of a good man.
Even if you make one, are you sure it'll be properly used?
No, I'm not sure. But Auntie, this time the Earth is in danger. If we don't build one, then we're finished.
But still, I don't like it, Ken. Don't do it. Whatever the reasons are.
Auntie! It's me, Yukari. Nuclear fission inside Godzilla's body, are you sure?
It's still a secret. I'm telling you, because maybe you can help. I want you to ask Dr. Ajuin to build an oxygen weapon.
Are you crazy? I can't do that.
I know how you and Auntie feel. But there's no other way, I promise you.
Any further signs of life yet?
No, nothing. Maybe we just imagined it.
So there was a life form in the sample. Hello. Water. It seems to be eating away at the fish. First you come to see me to warn me not to make an oxygen destroyer. Now you want me to make one?
It's the only way Godzilla can be destroyed now. Every other means has failed. You're the only one who can do it.
I said I could make one. But I didn't say it was going to be easy, did I?
Besides?
I made an analysis of the surrounding soil. I've seen the effect the oxygen destroyer had on it. If it had have been used on the ground, it's quite obvious that Tokyo would have become a cemetery.
Yes, Yamane speaking. What? At the aquarium?
I'd like to take this tape away for analysis. Hold it there. And zoom in. "3D scan.
What is it?
I'd say that was a life form from the soil sample.
Do you mean to say it's from the Precambrian era?
But it's mutated since then. It was a microorganism, just harmless and inert. However, 40 years ago, it was hit when the oxygen destroyer was first fired. And since then, it's been evolving abnormally. The thing you were afraid of has already come true, in fact. This hole here is proof of it. The fish, too. It could already be too late.
It can't be.
Micro-oxygen has already been unleashed.
This is CCAT 3. Godzilla's been sighted north of Okinawa, heading north-northeast.
Red alert! All units, scramble immediately!
Hong Kong, Taiwan, Okinawa. It's quite obvious he's heading this way.
Yes, but why is he heading this way, General?
Look at these reports of whales being killed.
You think it's the little one? But he isn't a killer. This doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I know. But maybe Baz Island changed something deep inside of him.
You think so?
Whatever happened, I have to go look for him. Still nothing. Little one, where are you?
Calling all cars. Reports of unknown life forms in the eastern industrial sector.